Hey guys, I'm Otero and I'm here with Brian Altano.
Hi.
And we have a very interesting conversation for you today. Today on the internet, we saw the Link Between Worlds box art. Link Between Worlds is coming out on November 22nd.
Yep.
And the box art had a very interesting detail.
It had a Master Sword. Now, what did it really have?
It had a logo for a Nintendo network. What does that mean? Well, that is basically a symbol that there may be some online component to this game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, what it is, we have no idea, but we have some theories, and we'd be eager to hear yours. So what's your theory for this?
So to me, right off the bat, it's weird to see an online Zelda thing. I have a couple of theories. One of them is that there might, I have a feeling Nintendo's going to start rolling out some Miiverse-shaped thing for the 3DS at some point, and I think that that will integrate with their next, string of games coming to the 3DS. But my biggest guess, obviously more than anything, is that it's something to do with another Four Swords. Some sort of interactive multiplayer Zelda game. I feel like they get a lot more experimental with the handheld Zeldas, and they a lot of them have multiplayer. The last few handheld Zelda games have been like, well, here's a multiplayer game.
That's right.
Try it out.
Yeah.
And they don't do that so much on consoles, or at all, really, unless you think about Four Swords for GameCube, which was the last one, really. But my guess is something like that. I don't know how it's going to play. In a perfect world, I think it will play like the game does, where you can turn from 2D to 3D, where there's 4 players turning into walls and coming back out. Like, that would be crazy.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. What are you thinking?
So, first of all, I think that's a great guess, just because the first time that A Link to the Past was remade, they had the Four Swords mode attached to it. It was on the Game Boy Advance back in the 2000s. I think that this is an experiment possibly with DLC. Earlier this year, Fire Emblem came out on the 3DS and had a bunch of DLC packs as part of it, and it seemed like an experiment from Nintendo with a very hardcore style game, right? We're talking about a strategy RPG that had DLC in some form or capacity on a handheld. So I want to say I hope this is them experimenting with maybe downloadable, quests or something.
Like a temple or something?
Yeah, and this may sound like heresy to Zelda kids at home right now, and that might be you, and I'm sorry.
It's me, I'm sitting right here.
Yeah, right? But I feel like Nintendo took a risk with Fire Emblem, and it looks like it paid off, right? They had a bunch of DLC content for that.
Sure.
So I think why not do it with one of the most revered action RPGs of all time?
Yeah, and I think they have the sensibility of handling stuff like that. I mean, the Zelda purist like I was, I started playing Zelda when the first ones came out. A few years ago would have said, I don't ever want motion controls in my Zelda games. And I don't ever want multiplayer, and I want no first person, anything like that there. And little by little, they've folded all those things into the franchise, and they've all worked to some degree. Like, there's never really been anything, aside from maybe Link's crossbow training, where I was like, what are you guys doing? Where I've been like, that's horrible, it's broken the franchise forever for me. So I think, what's stopping them from, you wake up in the game and you get a call from your little fairy, and she's like, hey, there's a new thing we got to show you in town. You go in, and there's a new temple to go to.
Very interesting, yeah. So what do you think? Join us in this conversation. Leave us a comment. What could this Nintendo Network logo mean for A Link Between Worlds? For more coverage on Zelda, 3DS, and A Link Between Worlds, stay tuned to IGN.